everyone, I'm here with my mom, Brandy Lucas, and she's going to talk to us about Hurricane Isabel in Virginia Beach.
Hey everybody, I first have to apologize. I've been sick for the past week, so my voice is kind of raspy in and out. But Hurricane Isabel was actually the first hurricane I've ever encountered. I moved to Virginia Beach in the summer of 2003, the first week of May. And everything was good, had a nice apartment, ground floor, beautiful pool, good people, good job. And then about 2 months later, hurricane season hits. And we had actually encountered a couple by September already, but then they predicted a hurricane that was a Category 5, which was Isabel. And you know, Texas tornadoes, you don't really think about it. You're like, as it comes, we'll figure it out. No big deal. It's never as bad as what they say it is, but unfortunately, Hurricane Isabel was as bad as what they said it was. So when it hit, it was actually a Category 5 hurricane. And we were on the ground floor, like I said, of apartments. And I think the first few hours of it was not that bad. The winds kind of got, you know, really strong, knocked out some of the electricity in different places, but we were still good. Until probably about the 6th, 7th hour after it actually made landfall, I think the winds had reached up to 60 miles per hour. And that's when we kind of got a little scared because, you know, this was really bad. And like I said, they had predicted it. They had warned everybody. People were able to leave if they wanted to leave. My brother lived there, and he had been through several and thought, this is no big deal. We've been through these several times. And that was not the case in Hurricane Isabel. It actually hit, and we lost power. And for about 9 days, we didn't have any kind of electricity. All of the stores, everything around the area was closed. Our apartment actually flooded, as being the ground floor, with about 2 feet of water. So when the hurricane actually hit, we went up to the upstairs apartments and just stood there basically until the hurricane was over because we couldn't go in our apartment at that time. And it was scary. Like I said, nobody had power. I think in total for Virginia, it was like over $2 billion in cost for damages and repairs. And I think there was over 36 people that actually died in that hurricane just in Virginia alone. I think the final number for total for everybody was like $5 billion in catastrophes, and then over 50 people that had actually died in that hurricane. It was really bad. It actually was one of the worst hurricanes in Virginia on that East Coast. And if I'm correct, they actually retired the name Isabel after that hurricane because it was so bad. And it was crazy. You always talk about, you know, Texas and how people are hospitable and Southern, and everybody has that, you know, I got your back. And it really wasn't like that in Virginia at all when I first got there. But during this hurricane, a lot of people kind of reached out to the elderly people and people who didn't have power, which was nobody. Unless you had a generator, you had no electricity, you had no food. Everybody just kind of scrounged to see what they could get as far as foods. All the grocery stores were closed. Everything was ruined. Like I said, it was over 2 weeks for most people to even have power to get back on. Like I said, ours was 9 days, and through that 9 days we didn't have anything but we had in the apartment. And after that, you just had to find stuff, or you had to know somebody who knew somebody. Luckily, we had a friend there that actually had a generator powered home, and we were able to stay there for a few days, and it wasn't as bad. But after that time, we didn't have anything. But it was kind of cool to see how people came together for each other, and especially the elderly people who didn't have anybody or who had pets, just to kind of see them all help each other out. It's crazy what something like that will make people do in a situation that's not normal, and just kind of, you know, help each other out and be there for each other. And I remember my mom calling me like when we got power 2 weeks afterwards and saying, okay, like that was horrible, you're coming back home now to Texas. And I was just like, no, I mean, I've already been through the worst of it now. Like, it can't get any worse than this, so we're gonna stay. And we did. But like I said, that was, I think, the worst hurricane in the history of Virginia Beach, where I was located. And since then, they have not had a hurricane named Isabel because of that hurricane. So
It's pretty cool.
not really when you're in it, but it was cool to go through something like that and just kind of see how people, like I said, everybody says in the South, everybody is, you know, hospitable and has each other's back and wants to be there for each other. And that really wasn't the case in the East Coast. Everybody was kind of snooty and They don't say ma'am, they don't, help each other out. But in that particular situation, like, people had to band together and help each other out because we had no other options. They couldn't get people in. They couldn't get people out. If you were there, you were stuck, and they were trying to get rescues. And that's just Virginia. There was so many states around there that actually affected, like I said, over $5 billion in cost, and 50 people died. So yeah, it was crazy.
Well, thank you for telling us about it.
You're welcome.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.